Hi, my name is Tony Keevan. I'm the CEO of the Keevan Group, and welcome to Take 2 of our Innovation Series. Today we're covering the 5 laws of interactive narrative marketing and how they inform mass movements. What are narratives? Well, narratives are stories that live in pop culture, like being green, women's rights, gun control, and even believers. And leveraging narratives is like judo. You can use the momentum of one to propel another. Before we go into our case studies, I'm going to go over the 5 laws quickly so that you can see how they apply. The first law is the bigger the better. You want to link to a narrative bigger than yourself. The second is you want to fit with the flow. You want to find the right time to fit with the right topic stream. Third, you want to relate and connect. You want to mean something to someone and let them connect to others. 4, teamwork is real. You want to be on the same page across all silos. And 5, pilot, then launch. You want to start small, test, and expand quickly. We're going to cover 3 case studies. One is Diageo Drag Queens, where we had a mass movement of investors. 2, we're going to cover Bloomberg versus Chavez, where we had a mass movement of voters. And 3, Stop and Frisk, where we had a mass movement of opinion leaders. Let's start with Diageo Drag Queens. If you go back to 1969 in June, there was something called the Stonewall Riots. This occurred because of a police crackdown on drag queens at Stonewall, and there were riots that ensued. It was really a very ugly affair. But it spawned the beginning of the gay rights movement in the United States and around the world. And if you fast forward 40 years later to 2009, the anniversary of Stonewall, in the New York City Gay Pride Parade, I convinced Diageo to sponsor the bar at the official party of the New York City Gay Pride Parade. It was called the Love Ball. It was in Times Square at the Nokia Theater. It was promoted on marquees and across social media, and the brands that we featured were Tanqueray, Ciroc, Kettle One, Orinoco, and Red Stripe. We even had an honorary branded drag queen made up to look like a Tanqueray bottle. And what happened is that working together across marketing, sales, IS, and PR, we secured a couple of interviews, and one of them was in Bloomberg.com. The headline read, Diageo's New York Drag Queens Help Reverse U.S. Slump. And this was a slow news week, and it was the bottom of the recession, and the story had a little bit of color, and was picked up by thousands of media outlets around the world, generating millions and millions of earned media impressions on the internet. In fact, it inspired a mass movement of investors. Close to 10 million shares were traded between July 16th and the first week of August, causing a 5% lift in shareholder value. Our second case study is Bloomberg versus Chavez. At the end of September in 2009, there was 1 month left before the November election for New York City mayor, and Mike Bloomberg, an independent, led Bill Thompson, a Democrat, by 11 percentage points. I host a public access television show called What Really Matters NYC in Manhattan with 25,000 viewers. It's a live news talk, dial-in program. We take callers and have live line guests. I have a commentator and a weather dude. In the month of October leading up to November election, we attached to 2 narratives in a show that we aired for 30 minutes. We also attached to another narrative about the third term and Hugo Chavez.
Okay, anyone got a call with the difference between Hugo Chavez and Mike Bloomberg, or no one cares?
It's a tough question.
It's not a tough question.
Well, it sort of is. It's tricky.
Okay, well, what...
Can you give some more hints?
Okay, both of them overturned term limits, so that would be a similarity. Yeah, I can't think of any other politicians in the last 2-3 years around the world, except these 2, who've overturned term limits.
But he hasn't yet.
So this is their distinct group, okay? Bloomberg and Chavez are a distinct group in the world, ladies and gentlemen. They both overturned term limits. But the difference between President Hugo Chavez and Mike Bloomberg is that Mike Bloomberg went to the city council to get it done. He didn't have a referendum with the people. Whereas Chavez, he had a referendum with the people.
That show, even though the date on it said October 15th, it was really broadcast live on October 8th because I knew I was traveling on the 15th and I wanted to fool the audience by having a rerun that had the right date on it. So it ran again on the 15th. I was sick on the 22nd, so I ran it as a rerun. And I said, hey, why not run it again on the 29th? So it ran 4 times in the 4 weeks during prime time, news time, 6 p.m. before the first Tuesday in November election for mayor. During that time as well, on the 15th, El Diario La Prensa, the largest Hispanic newspaper in the United States and the largest Spanish-speaking newspaper in New York City, they endorsed Bill Thompson, likening Mike Bloomberg to Hugo Chavez. The difference between the end of September, 11 percentage points, and the beginning of November was 4.6%, a loss of 60,000 voters. Our third case study is Stop and Frisk, where we had a movement of opinion leaders. If you're not familiar with Stop and Frisk, it's the policy of the New York City Police Department to stop and frisk people with suspicious behavior. What happens, though, is more often than not, it's people of color and of Hispanic background. So the Stop and Frisk policy has been put on trial. We helped initiate the Stop and Frisk narrative with the first interview of Ramarley Graham's mother and lawyer.
And when you look at policing in New York City, and you look at policies such as Stop and Frisk, and you look at the numbers and what percentage of those stop and frisk are effectuated in community of color, when you look at the percentage of, well, let's talk about the return on our investment. If you frisk hundreds and thousands of people and less than 3% are either have something criminally related on their person or involved in some criminal activity, then that would tell you that you're not getting a true return on your investment. But since it affects only people of color, it is my belief that it is of no consequence.
We also partnered with other media, airing the only Stop and Frisk on U.S. television.
Oh, you again, man.
I just got stopped like 2 blocks away, yo.
You look very suspicious.
Cause y'all always looking at me crazy.
Because you keep looking back at us, man.
Cause y'all always looking crazy, yo. Coming up the block, always.
It's our job, man. Listen
to stay on me, yo?
Listen to me. Our job is to look for suspicious behavior. When you keep looking at us like that, looking back.
Cause y'all always like stop. I just got stopped like 2 blocks away, like.
Because you keep doing that shit, man. We stopped you last time. Listen to me. When you were walking the block.
We did 7 Stop and Frisk shows between April 2012 and April 2013. We then take clips of those shows and put them on our website, and then take the URLs of our website and place them in blogs, in particular the New York Times. In fact, here's an example where there'd be an article on Stop and Frisk, and then we would make a comment in the blog underneath it and attach our URL. And if you look at the analytics for our website, and who comes to our website to look at the clips of our shows, and our Stop and Frisk shows in particular, between April 2012 and April 2013, you can see that people who read the blogs underneath the New York Times articles, there was 1,159 visitors. But additionally, people who make the entries who are members of the blog community, we had 506 viewers. So we inspired and reached a movement of opinion leaders on the Stop and Frisk topic. And opinion leaders are the ones who then go out and socialize their views to other people. So to review our 5 laws of interactive narrative marketing: the bigger the better. You want to link to a narrative bigger than yourself. You want to fit with the flow, find the right time to fit with the right topic stream. Relate and connect. You want to mean something to someone and let them connect to others. Teamwork is real. You want to be on the same page across all silos. And pilot, then launch. Start small, test, and expand quickly. If you've got any questions or comments on this presentation, please leave them in the space below. Feel free to share it if you wish. And if you're looking for help with managing your brands in the interactive age by taking advantage of these laws, please give me a call or drop me an email. And in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you during Take 3 of our innovation series.